Good morning, traders. Today is Friday, July 22nd. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. Short answer for today, I am feeling bullish. And I will tell you why. Because we have a breakout from a larger downtrend that the market has been in, as well as a breakout of a previous balance area, and we have continued to trend the value higher or overlapping to higher day after day after day. That's a sign that we have momentum in the market. We have a trend up. At the end of the day yesterday, we spiked up and we closed at the high of the day, which was in the spike. So that told us the momentum isn't over. And so this morning's spike rules are in play. Opening inside the spike is bullish, okay, by spike rules. Not quite as bullish as a gap up, but it is bullish. So the first thing we're looking for this morning, we are opening inside the previous day's range, so some chop would be expected. We're looking for support at 39.91, the base of that spike up. Market comes down, finds support there, turns around, gets above the high from yesterday, and the market is bullish for continuation to the upside. Or, of course, if we just open and immediately go above the high from yesterday and find support. Both of those are bullish scenarios. If we don't find support at the base of the spike, it's not bearish per se, but I would start looking to repair each one of these weak references we left behind one after another, trying to see where we find support. And things really get more bearish below the overnight low. So same thing as we talked about the other night or the other morning with the overnight. The way creating this strong angle from the low, almost like a 45-degree angle, is a sign of strength, right? They tested lower and then boom, like a shotgun, they headed back up. There is strength in this overnight trade as well. So it doesn't really get bearish just because we break the base of the spike, but then we would start to take these weak references into account. So neutral to bullish, leaning more on the side of bullish this morning. It does not seem the momentum is over. The first target to the upside is filling the gap we have left over from the 9th up to 14.75. And then monitoring for continuation higher from there. All right, technically we actually opened above yesterday's high, which is the most bullish scenario for the gap rules, or for the spike rules. All right, well, I am bullish as long as we stay above the base of the spike. I feel like we need a pullback to test the spike before we get all the way up to fill the gap to 40.14. But I might be wrong. If they can continue to hold the support above the opening price here, that would be a gap and go, which would be bullish. All right, so testing support once again at yesterday's high. If that breaks, we're looking for support at 39.91. John Lash, good morning to you. Chilling with Dylan in the house. Nap is here. Brian, Scooball. Shubaho Deep, good to see you. Been a minute. The Shaw is here. James, ES Flama. Fighter Pilot, Caffeine, Jules, Nor Auto Trader, T-Bay. Arthur Mateus. Robert. Robert says, bought the course last night. Incredible insight as to how things work. Good for you. Trooper just bought it and got right into it that very night. But thank you for the feedback. All right, so the market did not find support at yesterday's high. So the next stop is the base of the spike at 39.9150. I will be back to neutral if that fails, but I won't be bearish unless we get below the overnight low. We got 150 people hanging out. Welcome, welcome, Friday traders. Only 43 likes. I'd encourage you to consider pushing that thumbs up button. It's a great way to participate in the stream. Be part of making the magic. Also, leaving comments. Great way to participate. Join the chat. All right, as we're pushing into this support down here at the base of the spike up from yesterday, thought I'd put a little survey out in the chat. Where do you think the market's going to go today? Do you think we're going up, down, or sideways? I love to hear the group think. Let's see if we can get at least 100 votes. Up, down, or sideways? You guys know my vote. Highest probability up, next sideways, least likely down. But I'd love to know what you think. element. Wonder if the market will be rotational towards the data. No idea. No way to know. It's also Friday, so if we were going to have a rotational day, the end of the week would make sense. But spike rules are bullish. Okay, so now that we've pushed above yesterday's high once again, we can test it for support. If it can hold this time, it should be enough to get us to fill the gap up to 40.1475. All right, closing out the survey. Any last votes? Get them in. Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, the results are in. 48% think we're going up. 34% think we're going sideways, and only 17% think we're going down. Well, it sounds like we got a smart chat. No reason to question this whatsoever, and we're good. Done and done. Kiss Trading says just joined, hoping to become more proficient with market profile. Well, you have come to the right place. All we do is talk market profile all day, every day. Oh, yeah. All right, looks like we need one more pull into support around 4,006 before we get on up there to that gap fill. The buyers are building up steam. There's some support. Oh, man, passing back through yesterday's high. Got some bots going to work here. Trying to accumulate a position for somebody with big, deep pockets. Are they going long or are they going short? Seems they're buying support at yesterday's high. All right. Position accumulated. Allow the market to start moving again. All right, so there's a lot of resistance above this gap fill here at 40.1475. So whilst the momentum is still obviously to the upside, I expect it'll be a bit of a grind. That gap is filled. Commence the slow melt higher. Once again, looking for support right around the halfback, 4,005. All right, testing this level once again. Do the buyers step in? Or did they just need to fill that gap? Xavier, what's the next target to the upside? I don't have a specific target to the upside at this point. I'm just going to play it tick by tick. So essentially, you know, we've had a lot of momentum to the upside. We've had a big move up to get us up here. And that was the last, that little gap that we had right there, that was the last weak reference above in need of repair for quite some distance. So it's really just resistance above now. All the way up until 40.96. And because I don't think we're going to make a move to there today, you know, that tells me that the market is in for quite a grind to get higher. So I don't have a specific target to the upside. I'll just see how long they can keep the momentum going higher. And instead of this being one of those days where I just go long and wait for cessation, much like I just did right there, bought the support, took profits at the resistance, at the gap fill, I'll do that. So I'll remain bullish, but just looking to take trades in the direction, not necessarily targeting something really far away. Just buying support and selling resistance. Now there is a chance, because we just filled that gap, took away that magnet to the upside, that we may get what we call a look above and fail of yesterday's range. So pulling back into yesterday's range could trigger a big sell-off. But I will wait to see what happens at the base of the spike before I even consider it an option. Xavier, so you think it'll be a range day? I do, yeah. I think we'll push it as far as we can here in the first few hours of the day. Then we'll go rotational, and we'll either rotate sideways or get a bigger pullback. I don't think we're going to have the market pumps all day long kind of trend. Not this late in the move, and not on a Friday. Ticks are red, Scoopball says. Ticks are red. Ooh, they are. I will get bearish for a look above and fail below the spike. But there's buyers waiting here. So let's give them a chance first. Spike rules, opening above the spike yesterday, most bullish scenario. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Yeah, I mean, you're right smack in the middle of a previous balancing area. So much support and resistance. Yeah, so a little bit less bullish here on the NQ. Still bullish, though. They've still got the 45-degree angle from the low on the overnight. That is bullish. That it will act as strong support if tested. You didn't have a gap up, and you didn't open inside the spike. So that's a little bit less bullish. But you still have value overlapping to higher. And you still made a higher high and higher low for the day. So, not quite as bullish as the ES, but bullish nonetheless. Tech, thank you for the sub. Welcome. Welcome to the Pirate Traders community. We're talking markets here. We're trading without fear. Our losses never severe. It's the Pirate Traders live stream. Kathy, advancers versus decliners looks very bearish. Yes, the internals look bearish. I'll be happy to jump on the train as soon as we break the base of the spike. We've been making good taper with every attempt to push lower, so there are buyers waiting. Let's test them out first, and then we'll get bearish. poor low in the B period. So we'll be looking to repair that poor low. All right, it's repaired. Looking for support. Last chance for the buyers to save the momentum. They're going to have to get those ticks back above the zero line. All right, no support. That's bearish as a look above and fail. That flipped quick. And so now we're looking to monitor for continuation to the downside. So first we're looking to repair the first week reference. So sell resistance. Market pushes back up. Sell resistance. Repair the first week reference. Is that enough to bring in the support? If not, repair the next week reference. Is that enough to bring in the support? Remember, we got good, strong buyers in the overnight. If both of those fail, we target the next one and again to the downside. So I am just bearish to test these first couple week references. Screwball, that can be chop. Of course that can be chop. So we're now looking for resistance at the halfback that was previously support. All right, we're getting some resistance here at 95. If they push those ticks back below the zero line, we should head down and repair that first week reference. Okay, there's the resistance. Mateus, breaking a period got you bearish? No, it was the way the market moved. It was the fact that we got above yesterday's high, found support, right, and got continuation higher. And then as soon as we filled that gap above, the market crashed and burned. That was a little bearish, right? It was like, wait a second, we should have brought in more momentum and more buyers and more excitement. So I said, well, we'll see what happens at the base of the spike. Are there buyers waiting there? We got to the base of the spike. There was no buyers waiting there. That's what makes me bearish, but not long term, just to repair these 2-week references. We'll see what happens once we get there because there's lots of support waiting. It was also the internals were getting very bearish. We had these big red candles. That's another thing that caught my eye, worth mentioning. All right, there's a repair of the first week reference. Is that enough to bring in the buyers? Can they get those ticks back above the zero line? If not, next week reference. All right, they're above the zero line. Okay, they don't have the buyers. Increasing the odds. They're heading down to repair the next week reference at 39.83. Seeing if that is enough to bring in the buyers. It's also worth noting we've pulled the value area right up to the low of the day. That can be a sign the market needs more excess. That blue box being right at the low. Market needs a further move to the downside. Screwball, if we go lower, we can get some liquidation. Yes, sir. Below that overnight low, things get messy. Becomes a look above and fail the previous day's range and a previous day where we left a lot of weakness behind. So we could easily drop back down to 39.60. But first, the overnight low has to go. Screwball, but for now it's getting choppy. Yes, sir. Well, you got good, strong support. And they just keep pushing into it, and the buyers are waiting from that overnight low. Charles, I don't understand this 45-degree low thing. What the heck are you talking about? Well, just imagine that they made a low, and then over and over again, buyers kept stepping in before they even got back down to that low. They just kept defending and defending and defending. So these buyers have a lot of confidence because over and over and over again, they kept front running a test of the previous low. That's a move stronger hands traders do. All right, if we break through this resistance at 95, I'm back to neutral. Looking to see what happens when we test between 41 and or 4001 and 4003. All right, back to neutral. So we're pushing up into this resistance now, previous support becoming resistance, right? Important, really important level. Why so important, Charles? Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. Random person that asked that. Because if we get back above the opening price again, we take away that look above and fail momentum. And then suddenly we start to look real bullish once again, right? Found support above the overnight low. Repaired a weak reference. Now we've got the juice for continuation to the upside. So right now I'm assuming we're going to get resistance and push back down. But if we break through, it'll be bullish. Sometimes a market has to break before it can rally. So just to repeat that in simpler terms, if we get resistance here, we're looking to come back because we got bad taper and we still have a weak reference on the low. But if we break through, we're looking for it to become support again for continuation higher. This is the sort of deal or no deal level we're testing now. Okay, back above yesterday's high. It's bullish. Resistance is holding for the moment. Can the buyers poke through? "54% of you voted that it would." I forget actually what the exact vote was. 48%. Scott says, "I don't trust the market until the retest of the resistance or the breakthrough and hold." I think the steam is running out. You mean the momentum to the upside? It could be. But that's the thing. If we get back above yesterday's high and find support above there, then we know it's not over. But yeah, I mean, this would be a good spot for it to run out. So we'll wait and see. Alexander, let's hit that like. I like how you think. Got 98 likes. Come on. Must be two of you that think this is cool. Then want to give me the thumbs up. The "you're all right, Charles" signal. Thank you kindly for those likes. Thank you for liking me. It's been really hard, you know. Element market does need a sideways day. That it does. Excess leads to balance. We've had a lot of excess. We've had a big move in one direction. So, two ways to balance off that excess. One way is just to go sideways at higher prices, and you can potentially break out above or below. The other way is to pull back with price, looking for support. But first, you got to break the momentum. You got to run out of steam. It's worth going back and looking at some of the old ones and seeing what it looks like when we run out of steam on one of these breakouts. So here we had 3 days of momentum, 1 day of rotation, and then momentum again for another 8 days or so before sideways rotation. Here we had 11 days of straight momentum to the upside. One pullback day, which looked like it was sort of a sell-off day, and then continuation of that uptrend for another 7 or 8 days. Yeah, so it looks like we do often have the last day is like a big push higher. It's like a final bit of excess to the upside. So that bodes well for the bulls if they can get back above yesterday's high. If not, it means that day was yesterday, and today will be balance. Rockingham. So excess leads to balance, so I'm told. Yep. Every time, all the time, on every time frame. A breakout of balance on the 1 minute gives us a move of excess in the 5 minute. A move of excess in the 5 minute might just be a form of balance on the 30 minute. Balance on the 30 minute might be a trend on the daily. But the market is always getting excess and balance. Mark, wait a second. So does balance also lead to excess? Mind blown. Yeah, dude, you're welcome. You're welcome. Do I deserve 10% of all the profits you make from this point forward because I just blew your mind? Probably, but we'll let that slide. I just revolutionized your training for the rest of your life, but that's cool. It's just balance and excess. Mark, you mean 10% of my losses? Yeah, no, I only accept a portion of the gains. Losses must be incurred by yourself alone. Element, that resistance would have been a good short entry. Well, it's not over. You probably get another chance. All right, I stand corrected. You won't get a chance. So as far as where I will leave you moving forward here today, as we get ready to print the C period in about 5 minutes, as I've been saying, if they can get back above yesterday's high and then find support up there, that's the important part. Not just if they poke up there, but if they push up there and then they get new buyers stepping in, and they get support up there, that is very bullish for continuation of this momentum. So don't be afraid to go long and buy support on a breakout above yesterday's high. In between yesterday's high and the overnight low, it feels like a bit of a chop zone to me. So what I mean by that is it's kind of hard to predict the probability of where the market will reverse and how long it'll take. So probably in here, there'll be a lot of up and down. You could go with a breakout trade of the B period low. So when the C period breaks the B period low, the market is one time framing lower. You can look to sell resistance on the next pullback because we're one time framing. But honestly, I don't really think I'd even want to play that unless we broke the overnight low. So we're in kind of an indecision zone for me. But if the market does break the overnight low, how much of a sell-off are we looking at? I would say to yesterday's low, it would be the worst of it. But probably you'd find support around 948, 39.48. That is if the overnight low breaks. Something like that. All right, testing yesterday's high for resistance again. Once again. Chris, do you take trades in the first hour or do you wait for the initial balance? I took trades about a minute into the day today. I take trades whenever I see them. It is true a lot of times when we open inside the previous day's range and we don't have any clear signals of what the market's going to do, I often don't take trades until an hour or two into the day. But that was not the case today, right? Today, the market opened right away, giving us two bullish signals, right? Instantly, it gave us the spike rules, telling us that it was bullish because we opened above the spike, and a gap up. Even though it was only a gap of like half a point, it still counts as a gap. So the gap up also was bullish. So I was immediately looking to buy support as soon as I saw it. And that target was the poor high. I'm sorry, the old gap fill that we had up here. All right, and with that, we have ourselves a C period. Do we get resistance here and continuation lower? If so, do we break the overnight low? Or do we get some buyers that push us through this resistance, get us back above yesterday's high? And this bad boy just starts chugging to the upside once again, in line with the momentum we've been experiencing. If you're in the brigade, head on over to the private stream. If you're not, why the heck don't you just join? Take a little risk. Put $10 on the table to see if listening to my streams all day, every day might help you. If not, you just cancel the membership and it only costs you $10. But if so, you've got an entire month to listen to insights that surely one of which will help you make more than $10 in the market. Surely. In an entire month. One thing I'll say, one day, one single time will help you make one tick on the ES. And if that's the case, well, your membership is paid for itself. It's free. Something to consider. Also, the e-course, if you've been planning on taking it, if you've been thinking about it, if you've been saying, God, I love what this guy Charles does. I wish I could see the market the way he does. this would be a great weekend to take that e-course. Link in the description for that as well. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you here on Monday morning.